Welcome back to 10 Island Gaming. Tonight we're having Vampire Counts versus Demons of Chaos. This is my Vampire army. It's led by a level 1 Vampire Lord. She has the Amulet of Preservation, Ogre Blade, Quick Blood, Red Fury, Potion of Foolhardiness, Heavy Armor and Shield. My level 4 Master Necromancer is a Dwarf Vampire, just naked, nothing with him. Then I have a White King. He has the Night Shroud, Great Weapon and Luckstone. I also have another Necromancer level 2 of Death. He has the Obsidian Amulet, so that's Magic Resistance 2, and the Scroll of Shielding. For core I have 50 zombies, 20 zombies, 20 zombies, and 38 skeletons with Banner of Swiftness. For special I have tunes of 6 Crypt Horrors. I also have 2 units of dogs for core, I forgot, with Vanguard. Then I have a Mortsengium with Blasphemous Tome and a Terrorgeist. For spells, my level 4 rolled up Curse of Years, Vanel's Danse Macabre, Gaze of Nagash, Invocation of Nehek. My level 1 also have the Invocation of Nehek. And level 2 Death Mage has Spirit Leech and the Fate of Buna. This is my 2400 points.
And this is my 2400 points Demons of Chaos, mostly Nurgle. My general is a level 4 Great Unclean One with 1 Exalted Gift and 1 Lesser Gift and Lore of Nurgle. And then we have Epidemus, just as he is. And 1 Herald of Nurgle, who is a level 1 wizard, also Lore of Nurgle. He also has the greater focus of Fecundity, which gives regeneration. For core, 2 units of 20 Plague Bearers with full command. For special, 2 units of 3 Beasts of Nurgle. And then for rare, 3 Plague Drones of Nurgle with Death's Heads. And 2 Skull Cannons of Khorne. My wizard, level 4, the Great Unclean One, got Miasm of Pestilence, Blades of Putrefaction, Fleshy Abundance, and Plague Wind. And the level 1 Herald got Rancid Visitations.
I moved up the dogs on the left flank and just shuffled everything up. In the remaining moves I came in with the dogs and the Terrorgeist to threaten his right flank. Hopefully they can come up here and do some shenanigans. Now it's time for magic and shooting, turn 1. Nothing happened in the magic phase. He dispelled the big version of Vanel's Danse Macabre. And then I also tried to cast Invocation of Nehek, but it was not cast. I only got a 2. And then in the shooting phase, the Terrorgeist managed to do 2 wounds to the Beast of Nurgle. Now it's over to Demons of Chaos' turn.
The Beast of Nurgle charged the dogs on the left flank, and the Rotflies or Plague Drones actually, charged the other dogs. The Great Unclean One came in on the right flank, with a good view of the battlefield. And the other Beasts of Nurgle came in somewhat centered. The Plague Bearers shuffled up just a little bit, and then the Skull Cannons turned around to fire at the Terrorgeist. On to Magic and Shooting phase. The Great Unclean One tried to cast Plague Wind across the board, but he had a very short range and the Plague Wind stopped here. For shooting, the Skull Cannons' combined efforts managed to slay the Terrorgeist, and it's gone from the game. On to close combat. The plague drones killed the 5 dogs, fall or overcharged through the plague wind, but did not take a wound. So the plague wind lies here now. And then down here, the Beast of Nurgle killed the other 5 dogs and then turned up. So for Epidemius, that means that we've stacked 10 wounds so far for next turn.
I charged the Crypt Horse into the flank of the plague flies,
Plague drones.
Plague drones. And then I moved everything up. I turned the Crypt Horse around just to face the Beast of Nurgle. Did the same with the zombies and then just moved everything up to close the gap. And then for the Mortis engine I rolled a double. I forgot to tell you before, but this was the second time in 2 turns. So it's down to 3 wounds already. And now it's over to magic phase. For Cow's turn 2, I managed to get 6 power dice. First of all, tried to cast Spirit Leech on his Skull Cannon, but I think he got a 3 and I a 2 who had the same leadership, so no wounds. Then I tried to cast some other stuff and he dispelled it all. So over to close combat. I did 1 wound, but I charged in the rear flank, so I won combat by 4. And but of course he stayed. He only lost 1 wound due to demonic instability. I also got hit by the vortex in the end of the magic phase, so I lost 1 wound due to that. Now it's over to Demon's turn 2.
The beasts charged the Crypt Horrors in the flank, and the Plague Bearers charged the zombies. The Great Unclean One moved up, more on the right flank. The other Plague Bearers moved up. The Skull Cannons lined up to have, one of them can have a shot on the Mortis engine, and the other one just turned up here. And we move on to magic and shooting. I tried to cast Blades of Putrefaction on the beasts, but it was dispelled. And then another Plague Vortex, but a misfire on the artillery dice, which meant that it was a random movement of the vortex up here, 4 inches. For shooting, 1 Skull Cannon fired at the Mortis engine and managed to do 1 wound, and the other one fired at the Crypt Horrors and killed 1 Crypt Horror, 3 wounds. On to close combat. The beasts and the plague drones killed in total. The end result of the combat was that 3 Crypt Horrors died and 1 plague drone, and the Nurgle team won the battle. And over for the Plague Bearers, they managed to kill 8 zombies without a casualty in return, which led to a combat result of 10 plus for the Plague Bearers, and another 10 zombies died. Moving on to Vampire Count's turn 3. And after this turn, the Epidemius counter, tally of Pestilence, is up at 23. It only gets a new effect on 7th though, so they have now plus Strength, Toughness and Killing Blow for all the Nurgle demons in the army.
The only charge I had was the skeleton with the Lord into his Plague Bearer. I hoped I can break them and then maybe overrun into the Skull Cannon and try to get Epidemius afterwards. The Reliquary once again, of course, rolled double, so he's down at 1 wound. I think I've done 3 myself. Otherwise I took a risk and moved up to level 4, even though I'm in a bit of a pickle here from every side. So let's see. Now we go to magic and shooting. In the magic phase, I cast Invocation of Nehek. He let it go and I received a lot of wounds back, so many of them are replenished again. And then I tried to cast the big version of Vanel's Danse Macabre, but he dispelled it with force. Now it's on to shooting phase and then close combat. Emperor Count's turn 3 in the close combat phase. Went not very good. In this combat I believe I lost by 1. So I crumbled 1. In this zombie battle I only actually lost by 1 as well, so it was quite fortunate. And my Vampire Lord didn't quite manage to kill him off, but I think, yeah, he lost by quite a bit, but made a leadership 4 and he took it, even though he had a BSB, he didn't crumble that much.
Leadership double once, but I only had 4 on the
Yeah, exactly. So that was really good. It's looking grim, but I will carry on. Now it's over to Demon's turn 3.
The Great Unclean One joined the fray here, charged into the flank from the Crypt Horrors. The beast charged the other Cryptors with a really long charge. The Skull Cannon failed the same charge into the Cryptors. And then the other Skull Cannon lined up here, aiming into the fray. On to Winds of Magic and shooting. And in my turn 3, Epidemus is now fully stacked, so he's obviously fleeing the battlefield and moving as far away as possible along the side here. Now on to magic and shooting. Its magic phase was extremely uneventful. The only thing that went through was the Plague Wind, and it went only through the Cryptors, and they didn't suffer a single wound from the toughness test. But then for shooting, the Skull Cannon had one small opportunity. Needed a 2 on the artillery dice to hit the Mortis engine, and I rolled a 2. Hit the engine, killed the engine, which exploded. So everything within a 12-inch radius of the engine had 2d6 hits of the current turn number in strength. Not a single, well, actually 2 wounds on the Plague Bearers here. All the other demons got away unscathed. And then for the vampire counts, I think he lost 2 or 3 skeletons, 2 or 3 zombies here, and then 6 zombies in this unit, a couple of zombies here, but nothing for the Cryptors or the other Cryptors. And now we move on to the close combat phase. Trying to remember the enormously long close combat turn. This combat almost killed the Cryptor, who is very lonely there in the middle. One guy left with 1 wound, so I was a bit lucky for the vampire counts. This unit, however, was lucky for the demons. Still stays strong with 4 Plague Bearers left after everything was resolved. In the middle, the other Plague Bearer unit killed off a bunch of zombies, but it's still a deadlock here. The Beast of Nurgle managed to kill off 2 Cryptors and lost 1 beast in return. And I believe that was everything. On to Vampire Counts turn 4.
Didn't really do any movement. I turned them around just to be able to face this threat. Then I moved up to level 4 to get in the central position just to reach everything. Now it's on to magic. In the magic phase, I got in the big version of Vanel's Danse Macabre, so everything has rerolled to hit, and also the zombies moved up 8 inches towards that combat. And then I used 6 dice to miscast Invocation of Nehek. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was worth it, but I got back a lot of wounds on the Cryptors. Then I was not sucked into the warp, so I guess that was good, but a lot of zombies died and some skeleton as well. Now it's on to close combat. The Cryptors were mashed by the Great Unclean One and his cohorts. Then they reformed and faced everything else basically. The zombie unit here is about to crumble to dust. After this combat, when I killed the Plague Bearers, I reformed like this. And over in this combat I won by 1, but he made his leadership test, so nothing happened. Now it's over to demons and some charges, I would estimate.
Movement phase. Skull Cannon charged into the rear of the skeletons, and the beasts charged into the flank. The Great Unclean One charged into the flank of the zombies with the level 4 wizard. And the other Skull Cannon charged into the Cryptors. And the lone Plague Drone just backed off onto Winds of Magic and then close combat. First, I cast Fleshy Abundance on the Beasts of Nurgle, so they have 1 better in regeneration. Second spell was a attempt to get the Cryptors lower initiative and weapon skill, but that was dispelled. And then I miscast Plague Wind. It went through the zombies, the other zombies, the Cryptors, and the Beasts of Nurgle. A bunch of zombies died. I don't really remember exactly how many. 11 died, and none of the Cryptors or beasts suffered a wound. And from the 11 wounds caused, 1 Plague Bearer was brought back onto close combat. And also for the power, or for the miscast, I rolled a 10, it lost 1 power level and forgot Plague Wind. Now close combat. After a bloody combat phase, we started with the Great Unclean One, who wiped the unit with the level 4 wizard, overran into the unit that was in combat with the Plague Bearers. And they together wiped that unit, tried to overrun again, but failed. So the Plague Bearer unit just turned up here. The impact hits and the Beast of Nurgle managed to kill off 4 Crypt Horrors, and one of them is down on 1 wound. And I think they suffered 1 wound in return. And for the combat here, there were 8 casualties from the skeletons, and the level 2 wizard suffered 1 wound as well, and the beast suffered 2 wounds. And we're moving on to Vampire turn 5.
I really don't have much to do, so I just turned around the zombies and yeah, going straight to the magic phase. I 6 dice Invocation of Nehek, the big version, just to replenish the unit sum. I think I got 3 Crypt Horrors, 3 wounds that is, and then 3 Skeleton Wars as well.
9 zombies.
Yeah, 9 zombies. And now it's on to the close combat. Here I lost by 2, so I crumble down. And over here it's not going very good. I'm crumbling each turn. This time it was around 3, I believe.
And the wizard died.
And the wizard died, the level 2 of death. So now it's on to Demons of Chaos turn 5.
Demons, movement phase, turn 5. Plague Bearers charge into the skeletons with all the characters, and the Great Unclean One charged into the rear of the Crypt Horrors. On to Winds of Magic. Winds of Magic, turn 5. I managed to get off the big version of Fleshy Abundance, so all my units have 1 better in regeneration. He failed to dispel it. And then he had no dice left, so I got on the Miasm of Pestilence on the Crypt Horrors, 1 lower in initiative and weapon skill, and Blades of Putrefaction on the beasts, so they now have poison on 5s. On to close combat. End of Demons turn 5, and here we decided to call the game. The combat results were the Crypt Horrors were completely wiped out, and the Unclean One, the Cannon, and the Beast turned into the main fight. Here the entire unit of skeletons were wiped, so the White King and the Vampire are a bit surrounded. And we decided to call it after a long and bloody game. Not too much of a analysis after this game. I mean, the main thing is Epidemus. He was fully stacked by my turn 3. And gaining 1 strength, 1 toughness, killing blow, and also reroll failed ward saves for basically 3 whole turns. That decided the game basically. And some bad magic phases for the vampire count as well, which they really needed in this game. Hope you liked the game and want to watch the next one. And as always, give us tips and ideas for what we can play and how we can improve. Bye.